Boruto's Jougan and Sarada's Mangekyo could have an unexpected ocular connection that no one saw coming. It not only gives us a hint of their upcoming powers, but also explains why Sarada and Sumire were immune from Eida's spell, with a mind-blowing possibility. With the story teasing a huge collaborative role of both of them, it confirms the awakening of their formidable powers in the future. Today we are discussing their Dojutsus and what type of abilities they are about to manifest. Starting off with Boruto, who has been blessed with the pure eye Jougan. The Dojutsu hasn't made its way to the manga yet. The only hints that indicate it has some canonical relevance is the intel shared by an animator who revealed its name, and this panel which shows us an Otsutsuki god with some mischievous eyes in the background. But there's another hint that could clear a lot of Jougan mysteries for us. But before going there, let me explain why the eyes behind this figure cannot be a Byakugan. A Byakugan is the baseline Dojutsu that every Otsutsuki inherits. The only upgrade of this eye is the Tansengan, which is unlocked by combining the power of a Byakugan with the chakra of an Otsutsuki clan's member. Other than that, Byakugan has always remained the same in the whole story, with Otsutsukis being able to utilize it more properly simply because of their ages-long experience. So saying that an Otsutsuki god who has devoured millions of planets couldn't evolve his basic eye doesn't make that much sense. The anime adaptation of this panel literally used a color palette which made it difficult for us to identify the eyes. But since it makes more sense for them to be Jougan than the Byakugan, let's assume they are actually the pure eyes. Now the moment of truth that will unveil the Jougan to all of us will take place with the anime adaptation of the Shibai Otsutsuki panel. I think one of the reasons for the studios to delay the adaptation of the last 7 chapters for so long is because the writers will take some time to introduce the finalized plot elements in the story. This includes the Jougan, which is the most hyped one. Until the anime will return, the manga must have completed 56 chapters, which means the writers have enough time to wrap up everything. So if this eye actually belongs to Shibai Otsutsuki, then I think we finally have the answer to why Sarada and Sumire were immune from the divine spell. I don't see anyone talking about this possibility, but it makes a lot of sense to me, so hear me out. We know reincarnation has played a vital part in the entirety of Naruto. Both Sasuke and Naruto were the reincarnates of Ashura and Indra. They unlocked the special powers of 6-pass Sage Mode and the Rinnegan after Hagoromo infused his chakra in them. The fact that they were the reincarnates of his son is what helped them acquire these powers. Going by this analogy, there are tons of hints for Boruto to be the reincarnate of Shibai Otsutsuki. If that's the case, then it seems like he will unlock the Jougan once he comes in contact with the chakra of an Otsutsuki god. However, this reincarnation theory could also help us to conclude why Sarada and Sumire were immune from omnipotence. What if both of them are the reincarnates of Shibai Otsutsuki's wives? It may sound a bit bizarre, but if you think about it, it explains a lot about their magnificent role. An account from the Egyptian mythology talks about a deity named Ammon, the sun god, who had 2 wives, Mut and Mat. Mat could be the inspiration behind the character of Sarada, since she was the goddess of truth, justice and cosmic order. Sarada seems to be really stubborn when it comes to proving Boruto's innocence and unveiling the truth. Even the possible inspiration behind her Mangekyo, the 8th mirror, also known as Yata no Kagami, also symbolizes truth and justice. Mut, on the other hand, is the great mother goddess in Egyptian mythology, symbolizing fertility and nourishing. This can be associated with Sumire and her role in the Jougan's awakening. Further, Mut symbolized protection and vigilance, and it can also be drawn in the character of Sumire, since she wasted no time in informing Sarada that Boruto needs their help. So it seems like the complex relationship of this trio is just a retelling of Shibai Otsutsuki's story. Now you could say Sarada and Sumire are incarnates of an Otsutsuki. They should have Otsutsuki level powers as well. However, when we look at how reincarnation worked, in case of Ashura and Indra, everything becomes more clear. There are multiple reincarnations of the duo over the history, but only 2 of them turned out to be prominent. It's simply because being the reincarnate doesn't guarantee immense power. It solely depends on the individual's dedication, talent, and the circumstances that they grow up in. Further, with the heightened possibility of Himawari being the Jinchuriki of Kurama's reincarnation, a theory that I discussed in a recent video, it's not out of question for the girls to be the human version of Shibai's wives. So now that we know why Sarada is such a huge supporting pillar to Boruto, let's understand how this soulful retelling of history will apply to their new ocular powers. As for Boruto, there is a lot that we have seen his Jougan do in the anime reflected reflexively. The writers stated they were not sure of what they were going to do with his eye, but also said that the eye had two abilities as of now. The ability to sense negative emotions and chakra, which is what we saw again during the new and Momoshiki arc. They said it was connected to the Otsutsuki dimension, and later Toneri called it the Star of Hope. The second time when the concept of hope was mentioned in the story was during the revelation of Amado about the Otsutsuki god. He said the power of Otsutsukis contain hope for the mankind, since they can make the impossible possible. I believe here he was referring to omnipotence, but lacks enough clarity on the subject. So this means the special eye of Boruto will possess a god tier ability which is associated with hope. And by considering the prophecy of Toneri, the Jougan is supposed to dispel the darkness, and upon looking at the situation of the prologue scene, it seems like this is the destined time that he was referring to. So what possible card could Boruto play with his pure eye? Well, judging by how this Dojutsu has went down in the anime in helping Boruto, it seems like its powers will serve an omnipotent purpose of materializing hope into reality. In simple words, it could get Boruto out of any trouble situation and even reveal the next move of his opponents. This prediction power is based on the omnipotent nature of this eye, since it literally belongs to deities. The concept of past, present and future does not exist through the lens of the Jougan. It must have the efficiency to look at the possible futures and make the best moves possible. Right now in the story, Boruto can apparently only look at the major faraway events of the future, but with the passage of time, he must be able to predict the moves of his opponents in real time, making him a really broken warrior. With that being said, we have three major abilities for Boruto's ocular power: immediate foresight, chakra sensing and space-time ninjutsu. Before diving into what I think the broken powers of Sarada are going to be, I would like you guys to hear the interesting takes of Dynasty on the ocular powers of Boruto and Sarada.
Hey, this is Dynasty here, and my take on Boruto and Sarada's potential Dojutsu powers revolves around Sasuke's last words to Boruto. Sasuke says that there is something going on, something that only you, meaning Boruto, and Sarada can deal with. He adds by saying that this is what his guts is telling him, and that Sarada and Boruto are the ones who are going to have to deal with it. Now, if you narrow down and try to find out what Sasuke is saying is going on, you will find out what Sasuke is worried about, and how Boruto and Sarada will be the key to stopping this. Throughout the Boruto series, Sasuke has learned and seen multiple different events take place that if you told someone who only experienced part 1 of Naruto, they would simply not understand. Sasuke in the Boruto series has met over 3 completely new Otsutsukis. If you count Oroshiki in the anime canon, it would be 4. But all of these Otsutsukis had the same goal, which was to eat a chakra fruit. And we can clearly see by the way they act and go about that there are some clear orders, rules, and regulations that these Otsutsukis must follow. The fact that they come in pairs, the technology that they use in the form of karma, new types of jutsus in the category of senjutsu. All of these various things have been introduced to Sasuke in the Boruto series. And Sasuke seems to have noticed this, and if we plug in some of the missing information that he doesn't have that we are aware of, we can see exactly what state the world is at the current moment. The karma is meant to create a replication of an Otsutsuki, but not create a completely new one. But now we have new Otsutsukis who have replaced Ishiki and Momoshiki, with Kawaki and Boruto becoming full Otsutsukis. Now we have the Tentails, that is a tool that the Otsutsukis use to create a chakra fruit and further their evolution. However, with Code, the Tentails did not cause any Otsutsuki to evolve, but it evolved itself, creating the Shinshu. Eida, a 19-year-old girl with the powers of the gods, who created everything using omnipotence. She has that same power, the power that was used by Shiba Otsutsuki and other Otsutsukis who turned into gods. This planet is currently filled with abominations to the Otsutsuki clan, a clan that is quite prideful. As we learn with Oroshiki, the Otsutsuki clan is aware of everything that is going on, even knowing what Tonori did to that child, being Boruto, and how Tonori helped Boruto prematurely awaken the Jougan in the anime. And Tonori was the first person to be aware of this, and now we have Sasuke who may have come to the same conclusion. Thus, he decided to mentor Boruto. Both Boruto and Sarada have defied the gods in some way. Boruto by going against them, killing one in the process, and maintaining his identity even while sharing a body with a god. Sarada did the same thing by going against omnipotence and causing the complete vision that Boruto saw not to take place. So what exactly are the powers that Boruto and Sarada will eventually awaken to go against the threat that Sasuke seemed to believe was approaching this world? Starting with Sarada, I believe that Kijimoto may have foreshadowed her abilities in a similar way that he foreshadowed Obito's. When Obito was crushed by the rocks, Madara said that it was like the rocks went through him, foreshadowing the ability that he gained through Kamui. With Sarada, she helped prevent part of Boruto's vision to take place, where Kawaki in version 2 Karma seemed to have killed Boruto, as he had blood all over him. So maybe her ability is to change the future, and it would reinforce this duo, as Boruto can see the future, but Sarada is the one who can change it. Sarada has been all throughout the promotions that we have seen throughout Boruto to Blue Vortex. She was the first person to get her design shown and publicized in V-Jump, and we can clearly see that in the village, she is the main force that is going against everything to do with omnipotence, going against Shikamaru, going against Kawaki, and in the process not caring about becoming the Hokage. This is a similar mindset that Naruto had when it came to Sasuke, and with that resolve, we saw all the powers that Naruto was able to gain. And Sarada seems to have that same resolve, so it is quite obvious that she is going to have the powers necessary to back it up, and that will allow her to test her resolve against the greater threats that she will have to face. But that's not the only possibility that seems to be foreshadowed from this event, as after Sarada awakened her Mangekyo Sharingan, Sasuke's attitude completely changed. Sasuke went from distrusting his daughter a little bit, but after Sarada awakened her Mangekyo Sharingan, Sasuke immediately changed and decided to go and help Boruto out. Some people believe that this is a hint and foreshadowing to Sarada having some sort of genjutsu power, rivaling stuff like Tsukuyomi and Koto Omatsukami. Sarada may have an ability like this where she can take control of a person and force them to do their will. Although I do prefer the idea of Sasuke listening to Sarada only due to love and trusting her, this could be a potential ability that she has, a genjutsu that rivals Tsukuyomi, Koto Omatsukami, and allows her to control what a person does. That could be a potential ability that she possesses. When it comes to Boruto, on the other hand, it is quite clear from all the instances where Boruto used the Jougan that Boruto's main Dojutsu was going to be the Jougan, and what will allow him to be the Star of Hope. The Jougan has shown us multiple different abilities that it possesses throughout the anime if you paid attention. However, the most unique ability and potentially important one, its ability to adapt and find out his opponent's weaknesses. When Boruto was fighting Nue, the Jougan allowed him to see the chakra points and the exact chakra points he needed to hit for him to turn him back to normal and end up winning that fight. With Urashiki, it allowed him to see the portals before Urashiki even appeared. The Jougan's most important ability, and potentially its strongest, is the ability for it to find the opponent's weakness. We've seen this with Urashiki and Nue, and these are the powers I believe will allow Boruto and Sarada to deal with the threats that Sasuke foresaw. But that's just my take on the topic. But what are Kashikage's takes and theories?
So as Dynasty also believes there will be a collaborative role of Boruto and Sarada, I think their powers will be connected in some way as well. This means the Jougan could somehow empower the Mangekyo or vice versa. Looking at how they both symbolize the main celestial bodies which enlighten the planet, it seems like their roles are focused on bringing the light back to the shinobi world. Just like how the sun brightens the day and the moon illuminates the night, Boruto and Sarada will dispel the darkness, which is a metaphorical reference to the lies created by Eida and all this destruction that Kawaki has brought in the future. As for Sarada's ability, I would have said it might be a counter to omnipotence, but that won't fix the feud between the Kama duo. However, I think it might still be something unique, giving her a totally different edge. One of the examples could be the power to see the past, the complete opposite of Boruto's foresight power. In this way, she could enlighten the Shinjus about the truth of their existence, and maybe she might be able to get someone like Hidari to switch up, since he has already already raised curiosity about this topic before. A time manipulation power which might be similar to Jougan's instant foresight could also be a good way to keep her relevant. It might give her the chance to save herself from fatal attacks in order to counter her overpowered opponents. Since the Mangekyo's power reflects the heart and is somewhat similar to how omnipotence works, maybe this eye would be the key to reversing this spell and unveiling the truth, only because it's the only power which manifests the wishes of the user into an ability. Furthermore, Sarada's Mangekyo power will definitely aid Boruto in difficult situations, cause that's what her role is actually meant to be. You can find out more about this theory in these videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.